Home inspections are not comprehensive home audits. They focus on identifying major defects or issues that could affect the safety or habitability of the property. Inspectors may not be able to detect all hidden or future problems. It is important to understand the limitations of home inspections and not rely on them as a guarantee of a perfect home. While it is concerning that an electrical system was found to be unsafe, it is important to assess the severity of the issues before taking drastic action. Consider the potential risks and consult with a qualified electrician to determine the extent of the repairs needed. Do not immediately conclude that the entire house needs to be rewired without professional assessment. If there are concerns about the safety or quality of a home inspection, it is important to report them to the appropriate authorities. Consider contacting the licensing board or professional organization that oversees the inspector. It is also possible to seek legal advice if one believes the inspection was negligent or inaccurate. As an electrical contractor, there is a responsibility to ensure that work is safe and up to code. Appliances should not be connected nor electrical work performed on a property with known electrical defects. Document any safety concerns and communicate them to the homeowners. If one believes the electrical system poses a serious risk, recommend that the homeowners seek immediate professional assistance. The homeowners are understandably upset and concerned. Provide them with clear and accurate information about the condition of the electrical system. Explain the potential risks and the steps that need to be taken to address the issues. Reassure them that the intention is to help them resolve the situation safely and effectively. Consider contacting a home warranty company to assess the damage and potentially cover the cost of repairs. Encourage the homeowners to get multiple estimates from reputable electricians before making any decisions. It can be a stressful time for the homeowners, and professionalism and expertise will be invaluable. When encountering a situation where a home inspection appears to have missed significant electrical issues, several steps can be taken. Firstly, thoroughly document all the electrical problems. Take detailed notes and photographs of each issue, highlighting the specific safety concerns and code violations. This documentation will serve as evidence when communicating with the homeowners, the original inspectors, and any relevant authorities. Secondly, communicate clearly and professionally with the homeowners. Explain the extent of the electrical problems in a way they can understand, avoiding technical jargon where possible. Emphasize the safety risks associated with the issues, such as the potential for electrical shock, fire, or damage to appliances. Provide a written report outlining the problems and recommended solutions. Thirdly, refuse to connect the range or perform any electrical work until the identified issues are addressed. Connecting appliances to an unsafe electrical system could create a dangerous situation and expose to liability. Clearly explain to the homeowners that proceeding with the connection would be irresponsible and potentially illegal. Fourthly, recommend a comprehensive electrical inspection by a qualified and licensed electrician. This inspection should go beyond the scope of a standard home inspection and thoroughly assess the entire electrical system, including wiring, panels, grounding, and safety devices. The electrician can provide a detailed report outlining all necessary repairs and upgrades. Fifthly, advise the homeowners to obtain multiple quotes from reputable electrical contractors for the necessary repairs. This will allow them to compare prices and services and make an informed decision about who to hire. Provide them with a list of qualified electricians in the area, if possible. Sixthly, report the apparent negligence of the home inspector and the Federal Housing Administration, or FHA, inspector to the appropriate authorities. This may include filing complaints with the State Licensing Board for Home Inspectors, the FHA, or other relevant regulatory agencies. Provide them with the documentation gathered and explain the reasons for the concerns. Seventhly, consider seeking legal advice from an attorney specializing in real estate or construction law. An attorney can advise on legal rights and options, including the possibility of pursuing legal action against the home inspector or other parties responsible for the damages. Eighthly, remain patient and supportive throughout the process. Dealing with significant electrical problems can be stressful and overwhelming for homeowners, especially when they feel they have been misled by previous inspections. By providing clear information, professional service, and ongoing support, one can help them navigate the situation and ensure their home is safe. Ninthly, review the scope of a standard home inspection. A standard home inspection is a visual examination of the readily accessible systems and components of a home. The purpose of a home inspection is to identify major defects and safety issues that could affect the value or habitability of the property. Home inspectors are not required to be experts in every field, and their inspections have limitations. Tenthly, remember that home inspections are not a substitute for specialized inspections. A general home inspection may not identify all electrical problems, especially those that are hidden or require specialized equipment to detect. If there are concerns about the electrical system, it is important to hire a qualified electrician to perform a more thorough inspection. In the case of an FHA inspection, understand its specific purpose. FHA inspections are primarily focused on ensuring that the property meets the minimum safety and habitability standards required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, for FHA-insured loans. These inspections are not as comprehensive as a full home inspection and may not identify all potential problems. Also, be aware of the standards of care for electrical contractors. As an electrical contractor, there is a professional responsibility to ensure that work is safe and up to code. This includes identifying and addressing any existing electrical problems before connecting new appliances or performing other electrical work. Failing to do so could result in liability for damages or injuries. Consider documenting all communications. Keep a record of all communications with the homeowners, the inspectors, and other parties involved in the situation. This documentation could be valuable in case of future disputes or legal action. Also, consider offering solutions. While the primary responsibility for addressing the electrical problems lies with the homeowners, one can offer to assist them in finding qualified electricians or obtaining quotes for the necessary repairs. This can help build trust and demonstrate commitment to resolving the situation. Furthermore, maintain professionalism. Even when frustrated with the situation or the actions of others, it is important to maintain a professional demeanor at all times. Avoid making disparaging remarks about the home inspector or other parties involved. Focus on providing accurate information and helpful solutions. Home inspectors typically follow a standard of practice that outlines the scope and limitations of their inspections. It is important to understand these limitations and not expect the inspector to identify every potential problem. Home inspections are visual and are not technically exhaustive. Inspectors typically do not move furniture, remove wall coverings, or perform destructive testing. This means that they may not be able to see hidden wiring, assess the condition of insulation, or identify other problems that are not readily visible. Inspectors focus on readily accessible areas. Inspectors typically only inspect areas of the home that are readily accessible. This means that they may not inspect attics, crawl spaces, or other areas that are difficult or dangerous to access. Inspectors identify major defects, but not minor cosmetic issues. Home inspectors focus on identifying major defects that could affect the safety, value, or habitability of the property. They typically do not report minor cosmetic issues, such as chipped paint or stained carpets. Home inspections are not code compliance inspections. Home inspectors are not code enforcement officials, and they do not typically determine whether the home meets all applicable building codes. If there are concerns about code compliance, it is important to contact the local building department. Home inspectors offer opinions, not guarantees. Home inspectors provide their professional opinions about the condition of the home, but they do not guarantee that the home is free of defect. It is important to remember that home inspections are just one step in the home buying process, and buyers should not rely solely on the inspection report to make their decision. There are several reasons why a home inspector might miss electrical problems. Firstly, the problems may be hidden. Electrical wiring and components are often concealed behind walls, ceilings, and floors. Inspectors cannot see these hidden areas without removing coverings, which is beyond the scope of a standard home inspection. Secondly, the problems may be intermittent. Some electrical problems, such as flickering lights or tripping circuit breakers, may only occur intermittently. If the problem is not present during the inspector may not be able to identify it. Thirdly, the problems may require specialized equipment. Some electrical problems, such as ground faults or voltage drops, require specialized equipment to detect. Home inspectors typically do not carry this type of equipment. Fourthly, the inspector may lack expertise. While home inspectors are trained to identify common electrical problems, they may not be experts in all areas of electrical systems. Complex or unusual electrical problems may require the expertise of a licensed electrician. Fifthly, the inspector may be negligent. In some cases, a home inspector may simply be negligent in their inspection. This could involve failing to properly inspect the electrical system, overlooking obvious problems, or failing to report their findings accurately. If one believes that a home inspector was negligent, legal options may be available. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a widely adopted standard for safe electrical installations. Electrical contractors should be familiar with the NEC and follow its requirements when performing electrical work. Some common NEC requirements include proper grounding, proper wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and safe clearances. Grounding is essential for electrical safety. It provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to prevent electrical shock and fire. The NEC requires that all electrical systems be properly grounded. Wiring methods refer to the types of wiring and installation techniques used in electrical systems. The NEC specifies the types of wiring that are permitted for different applications, as well as the proper methods for installing and supporting the wiring. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. The NEC requires that all electrical circuits be protected by overcurrent protection devices of the proper size and type. Safe clearances are required around electrical equipment to prevent accidental contact and to allow for proper ventilation. The NEC specifies the minimum clearances required for different types of electrical equipment. When reporting electrical problems to homeowners, it is important to be clear, concise, and professional. Start by explaining the nature of the problem in simple terms, avoiding technical jargon where possible. Then explain the potential safety risks associated with the problem, such as the risk of electrical shock, fire, or damage to appliances. Next, provide recommendations for addressing the problem, such as repairing or replacing the defective equipment. Finally, offer to provide a written report outlining the problems and recommendations. The homeowners may have questions or concerns about the electrical problems. Be prepared to answer their questions patiently and thoroughly. If cannot answer a question, offer to find the answer for them or refer them to a qualified electrician. Remember that homeowners may be stressed or upset about the electrical problems. Be empathetic and understanding, and reassure them that one is there to help them resolve the situation safely and effectively. To stay up to date on electrical safety, firstly, take continuing education courses. Many organizations offer continuing education courses for electricians and electrical contractors. These courses can help stay up to date on the latest electrical codes, safety standards, and technologies. Secondly, attend industry conferences and trade shows. Industry conferences and trade shows are a great way to learn about new products, technologies, and best practices. They also provide opportunities to network with other professionals in the field. Thirdly, read industry publications. There are many trade publications that cover electrical safety and technology. Reading these publications can help stay informed about the latest developments in the field. Fourthly, get involved in professional organizations. Professional organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, or IEE, and the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, offer resources and opportunities for professional development. Fifthly, stay informed about code changes. The NEC is updated every 3 years. It is important to stay informed about the latest code changes to ensure that electrical work is safe and compliant. When dealing with older homes, there are some specific electrical issues that are more likely to be encountered. Firstly, knob and tube wiring is an outdated wiring method that was commonly used in homes built before the 1940s. Knob and tube wiring is ungrounded and can be a fire hazard if it is damaged or improperly modified. Secondly, aluminum wiring was used in some homes built in the 1960s and 1970s. Aluminum wiring is more likely to loosen and corrode than copper wiring, which can lead to overheating and fire. Thirdly, undersized electrical panels are common in older homes. These panels may not have enough capacity to handle the electrical demands of modern appliances and electronics. Fourthly, lack of ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is a common safety issue in older homes. GFCIs are designed to protect people from electrical shock by interrupting the flow of electricity in the event of a ground fault. Fifthly, ungrounded outlets are another common safety issue in older homes. Ungrounded outlets do not provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which can increase the risk of electrical shock. When inspecting an older home, pay close attention to these potential electrical issues. Recommend that the homeowners have the electrical system inspected by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is safe and up to code.